everyone, welcome to our video class section of plus 2 biology. Today we are discussing the chapter reproduction in organism. Be with your textbook. Here we are discussing some NCERT textbook questions. So the first question is, why is reproduction essential for organism? Okay, why the reproduction is essential? Reproduction is essential for multiplication and maintaining the identity of species. Okay, then the next point is to maintain and to inherit the genetic constitution or genetic makeup. After our discussion, all these questions you should write in your notebook. Clear? The second question is, which is a better mode of reproduction, sexual or asexual? Why? Which is the better mode of reproduction? Sexual reproduction. What is the reason for it? Because in case of sexual mode of reproduction, variations are producing. Okay, because of the crossing over, the recombinations are producing. Okay, that's why the sexual reproduction is very important. The next question is, why is the offspring formed by asexual reproduction referred to as a clone? Okay, the third NCERT textbook question are coming in 2010 CBSE board exam. Okay, so why the asexual reproductive material are known as clones? In asexual reproduction, the offspring is morphologically and genetically identical to the parent. Okay, so that's why it is known as clone. Clear it is. The next question is, offspring formed due to sexual reproduction have better chances of survival. Why? Is this statement always true? What is the question? Offspring formed due to sexual reproduction have better chances of survival. Why is this statement is always true? What was your opinion? Is the statement is always true? The offspring retain its hybrid vigor, which may adapt better with the changing environment. Due to sexual reproduction, the organism have the ability to adapt the better change with the environment, and the genetic variations are occurs in the offspring. So this increases the range of tolerance or biological tolerance. Clear it is. Then the sexual spores. We studied in plant kingdom portion sexual spores. So what is spores? Spores have the ability to withstand the unwanted environmental condition. That's why sexual reproduction may not always show better chances of survival, because the offsprings may be inferior to the parents. Clear it is. Sexual reproduction may not always show better chances of survival because the offsprings may be inferior to the parents. Okay. And question number 5 is, how does the progeny formed from the sexual reproduction differ from the sexual reproduction? Okay, so in a sexual reproduction, the progenies are similar copy, but in sexual reproduction, they are different genetic makeup. Okay, that is the first one. In asexual reproduction, variations are absent, but in sexual reproduction, variations are present. Okay. In asexual reproduction, sometimes variations are occur, that because of the mutation. But in sexual reproduction, the variations are occurs due to mutation, crossing over and recombination. Okay. So the genetic variations are more common in the sexual reproduction. And in case of asexual reproduction, progenies are less adaptable to changes in environment. Less adaptable to changes in environment. But in sexual reproduction, the progenies are more adaptable to changes in environment. The progenies are more adaptable to changes in environment. Okay, so depend upon the marks of the question, write down 3 or 4 points. Clear it is. Next question, distinguish between asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Why is vegetative reproduction also considered as a type of asexual reproduction? Okay, I think now you are clear what is asexual and sexual reproduction. The next part is, why is vegetative reproduction also considered as a type of asexual reproduction? Why the vegetative reproduction is considered as a type of asexual reproduction? Because in vegetative reproduction, the plant part is used for the propagation. Okay, so there is no involvement of the gametes or the sex cells. Clear it is. Then the cell division is mitotic and no reduction division takes place. What is reduction division means? Meiosis will not take place, always taking place the mitosis. That's why the vegetative propagation is also considered as a type of asexual reproduction. Got it? Then the next question is, what is vegetative propagation? Give 2 examples. Okay, so vegetative reproduction that I discussed, the type of vegetative reproductions are runner, rhizome, sucker. Okay, so they are able to produce offsprings by the process of vegetative propagation. And you mention any 2 examples for the runner, rhizome, sucker type. Okay, when I am taking class, I give you the examples. You just write down what are the examples for it. Next question is, define juvenile phase, reproductive phase and senescent phase. Okay, and if an organism is growing, the organism having mainly these 3 periods: juvenile phase, otherwise known as vegetative phase, then reproductive phase and the senescent phase. Okay, juvenile phase means it is the pre-reproductive phase in which all organisms require a certain growth and maturity in the life before reproduce sexually. Got it? Juvenile phase is the pre-reproductive phase in which all organisms require a certain growth and maturity in life before reproducing sexually. Then reproductive phase means where an organism possesses all the capacity and potential to reproduce sexually. It is the end of the juvenile or vegetative phase. Then the senescent phase means the post-reproductive phase in the life cycle, where an organism slowly loses the rate of metabolism, reproductive potential and show deterioration of the physiological activity. Okay, so all the processes are slowing down in the senescent phase. Clear it is? Then question number 9. Higher organisms have resorted to sexual reproduction in spite of its complexity. Why? Higher organisms have resorted to sexual reproduction to get over the unfavorable condition. Okay, and it helps to introduce new variation. The new variation help the organism to adapt. Okay, better adaptive capacity, biological tolerance and competitive. Then restore high gene pool in the population. Clear it? Then the higher organism have the ability to proper parental care during this vulnerable stage. That's why a higher organism prefers sexual reproduction. Okay. Explain, 10th question, explain why meiosis and gametogenesis are always interlinked. Why this meiosis and gametogenesis are interlinked? Gametogenesis means formation of the gametes, either male gamete or the female gamete. Clear it is? So there occurs reduction division. Reduction division means the gametes are always haploid. It doesn't consider the parent is haplodiploid. Always the gamete is haploid. So the meiosis is a type of division, reduction division, that helps to maintain the haploid number. Okay. And question number 11. Identify each part in flowering plant and write their haploid or diploid condition. Okay, that also asked in previous year. First one is ovary. Ovary, it's seen in diploid, 2N condition. Ovary, diploid. Okay, anther, that also in 2N condition. Egg occurs in a haploid condition. Clear? Ovary and anther are 2N condition. Then the egg is haploid. N. Then pollen grain. Okay, that's the male gamete, so it should be a haploid one. Male gamete, that also haploid. Zygote means the combination of the male and female, so it should be diploid. Clear it is? Don't be confused with this fact. Ovary. So I am again telling ovary in diploid condition, anther in diploid condition. Egg and pollen grain are the product of ovary, and the pollen grain is a product of anther. So that's seen in haploid condition, and male gamete is an haploid one, and the zygote is a combination of the male and female one, that also an diploid one. Clear it is? Diploid means 2N and haploid means N condition. Okay, the next question is question number 12. Define external fertilization, mention its disadvantages. Okay, external fertilization means the fusion of the gametes occurs outside the body, that is known as external fertilization. And the disadvantage of this external fertilization is it requires a medium for the fusion of gametes. Okay, that's one disadvantage. And the next one is the young ones are often exposed to the predators and no parental care is provided. Clear? The young ones are often exposed to the predators and no parental care is provided. Clear? Then the next question is differentiate between zoospore and zygote. What is zoospore? Zoospore are endogenously asexually produced unicellular naked and motile spores having one or two flagella. It may be haploid or diploid. Zoospores take part in dispersal. Any confusion about this zoospore, just go through the plant kingdom chapter. Okay. Zoospores are endogenously asexual production, unicellular, naked and motile. Motile means they have their flagella. Then zygote means diploid one formed by the fusion of male and female gamete, and it always diploid. Zygote does not have significant role in dispersal. Okay. Then question number 14 is differentiate between gametogenesis from embryogenesis. So what is the difference between gametogenesis and the embryogenesis? Okay, gametogenesis means the formation of the gametes from the meiocytes. Meiocytes means gamete mother cell. MEIOCYTS, meiocytes. Meiocytes means gamete mother cell. This is a pre-fertilization event. The cell division during gametogenesis is meiotic in diploid organism. It occurs inside the reproduced organism. Okay, and the result will be a haploid gamete. But in embryogenesis, the formation of embryo formed from the zygote. So it is a post-fertilization event, and the cell division during embryogenesis is mitotic. Okay, but in gametogenesis, the cell division is meiotic. In embryogenesis, the cell division is mitotic. Then embryogenesis occurs inside the female body, and in embryogenesis, it gives rise to diploid embryo. Okay, diploid embryo is the feature of the embryo. Diploid embryo is the feature of embryogenesis. Okay, so asking for a 2-mark question, you write down 4 points. Okay, then asking 3-mark question, you should write 6 points. Clearly? Next question, question number 15. Describe the post-fertilization changes in a flower. So fertilization means the fusion of gametes. And what was the post-fertilization changes occurs in the flower? So first point is the formation of zygote. Okay, so zygote forming inside the ovule. Okay, then it covered by the endosperm. Endosperm provides nourishment. Clear? Then the sepal, petal, stamen are shed off. In some group only the sepals are remaining, Solanaceae group. Okay, then the fertilized ovule develop into seeds. The ovary matures into fruit that later develops a thick protective wall called pericarp. Then seed after the dispersal germinate under favorable condition, which later develop into a new plant. Okay, so the next question is next our chapter is sexual reproduction flowering plants. So this post-fertilization periods we are clearly explaining on that chapter. Next question is what is bisexual flower? Collect 5 bisexual flowers from your neighborhood and with the help of your teacher find out the common and scientific names. Okay, so bisexual flower means a flower possesses both the male and female reproductive structures. Both the female and male reproductive structures. Okay, that means stamen and the carpel are present. So I suggesting one example, 1 or 2 example, and you find out another example and find out the scientific name too. One example is China rose, Chemberati. Okay, Hibiscus rosa sinensis. Hibiscus rosa sinensis is the scientific name of China rose. Then the next one is mustard, Brassica campstris. Brassica campstris. So I gave you 2 examples and other 2 you find out. Okay, all should be you write in your notebook, and after this class you write all the questions in your notebook, and next day you mail it. Clear? And question number 17. Examine a few flowers of any cucurbit plant and try to identify the staminate and pistillate flowers. Do you know any other plant that bears unisexual flowers? Okay, unisexual flowers means the flower either have the staminate or have the pistillate. Cucurbit family means Cucurbitaceae, Vellari family. Okay, the staminate or male flower has only stamen and no carpel, that is staminate. And pistillate flower means they are having only carpel. Okay. Then the other example for this group is unisexual group is papaya and date palm. So it is not easy to get the date palm flower. So it is easy to collect papaya flowers and you find out. Okay. Next question is, why are offsprings of oviparous animals get risk of compared to offsprings of viviparous animals? In case of what is difference between viviparous and oviparous? Viviparous means they give birth to the young ones and the proper nourishment of the otherwise child care will be taking place on case of viviparous. In case of oviparous animal, they are laying eggs. Okay, so the development occurs inside the calcareous shell. After the hatching of the baby, the proper care was not taking place. Clear it is. So they have more vulnerable to predators. So that type of great risk is not occurs in the viviparous animals. Clear it is. So this is these 18 questions are our NCERT questions. Next we are discussing some important questions, both very short answer type and the important question that comes for our previous year board exam. Okay, so after each chapter I am discussing the previous year board question. So go through that portion that we are discussing. Clear it is. So here I am winding this portion of NCERT textbook discussion. Thank you.